The CAF Champions League draw has been done. Every club knows where they stand, and the premium competition will kickstart in no time. I'm excited. If you are an African, whether you reside on the continent or outside, and you're not following the premium competition of the continent, then I don't know what is your problem. I don't know what is your issue. Yes, we might be following English Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, or whatever, but there is nothing and is more exciting as CAF Champions League. Now, in this episode, I'll be giving my favorites and actually just going through all the four groups. The format in African football or CAF Champions League football is that we have 16 teams divided into four. So each group will have 4 teams and made up of four groups. So Group A, we now know that it's TP Mazembe, Young Africans or Yanga from Tanzania, and then we have Al Hilal of Sudan and MC Alger. I can't say they are new boys, but they are the current champions in Algeria, winning the league after I think is it 11 years or 12 years or more. And in Group B, we have the South African champions, Mamelodi Sundowns, the Moroccan champions, Raja Athletic or Raja Casablanca, as we knew before. And then AS FAR, the runners-up to Raja Casablanca in Morocco. And then we have the Democratic Republic representation in that group, which is AS Maniema Union. Group C, the African champions. Club of the century, Al Ahly, the Egyptians. And then we have CR Belouizdad, the runners-up to MS Alger in Algeria. And then we have Orlando Pirates, runners-up in South Africa. And then we have Stade d'Abidjan. I believe they're also runners-up in that league. And the last group, Group D, led by Esperance, runners-up in CAF Champions League to Al Ahly. And then we have Pyramid FC of Egypt, Sagrada Esperança of Angola. We don't have Pedro de Luanda this season. I don't know what's happening with that team, but Sagrada Esperança of Angola, they are representing the nation. And the new boys, Joliba AC Bamako of Mali. So if you look at the whole setup here, or the nations represented here, in particular West Africa have 2 representations from Angola. From Mali, Joliba Bamako, and then we have Stade Abidjan of Ivory Coast. So 2 West Africans in CAF Champions League, and then we've got, let's say, one central, which is your 2 central. Democratic Republic of Congo, TP Mazembe and AS Maniema. And then the SADC region will have Orlando Pirates, we'll have Sagrada Esperança of Angola, and we'll have Mamelodi Sundowns. And then we have 1 East African representation from Tanzania, and that is Young African themselves. And every other club is from North Africa. That's the dominance of North Africans in CAF Champions League. It's been happening for some time, and let us see if the clubs we have from the SADC Central East will form, some form of resistance against the dominance of the North Africans. And last season, the finalists were between Al Ahly and Esperance. So let me give you my favorites. And in giving you my favorites, this is the criteria I am using. Number 1, CAF Champions League pedigree. It counts. It's important. CAF Champions League is a different animal from any other competition you play in your own country. This is not MTN8. This is not that Nedbank Cup. This is not some Community Shield. CAF Champions League is a total different animal from any other competition you can play in this continent. So CAF Champions League pedigree counts. And then number 2, the technical approach of the club, the coach, the profile of the players they have. And number 3, the dark arts of African football, the response by teams to what how some of these teams employ these dark arts of African football. By dark arts of African football, I mean, when you play against, for example, when you play against North Africans will intimidate the ref, will intimidate the official even before they get to the field. The ball boys, when the home team is leading, will not will really delay things for the visiting team. How they waste time when they're leading. It's those elements. And then I have noticed some of the teams who are new in CAF Champions League, they are really irritated by this or frustrated by this playing to the advantage of the team that's leading, and really frustrating the opposition. So the clubs who have been in CAF Champions League for some time, they know how to react to these tactics and tendencies. So when a club is new to this, I mean, it can really frustrate the hell out of these teams, and these things are still happening in African football. So that's the criteria I'm basically using as to whether a club will make it out of the group stages or not. Now, Group A, I think Group A is by far the group of death. I think it's a group of death because anyone in this group can actually make it. Let me also applaud Al Hilal. They made it to the group stages without actually playing in their league, because we know of the war that's happening in Sudan. They are currently now participating in the Mauritania League. So big ups to their management, and I think they've got some good leadership there, because there's nothing happening in the country at the moment because of the war. So Al Hilal have made it to this group. So anyone in this group can actually make it. MC Alger, apparently they are owned by the biggest company in Africa, backed by good money. So anyone in this group, last season we saw TP Mazembe made it to the last four, and they had a fairly young team, inexperienced, but they made it to the semi-final. This just also goes to show you the CAF Champions League history in the club pedigree really counts. So who will make it out of this group? And I must say, my disappointment with this year's edition, I mean, when the groups were finally made, my disappointment, the greatest disappointment, and I know the disappointment, I'm being biased and selfish in saying this, is that young Africans were not thrown in to be in a group with Pirates or Mamelodi Sundowns. I would have really loved it to have a younger in play against Sundowns in 2 legs, or an Orlando Pirates playing younger over 2 legs. If they come to South Africa, I'll go to Orlando Stadium. If they come to Mamelodi Sundowns, I'll go to Loftus Stadium. So I'm really disappointed, because I've been following Tanzanian football, especially Azam, Simba, and your younger. So I'm disappointed that they were not in a group where there's a South African representative. So anyway, I think in this group, the winners in this group, I can't tell the winners, but I know the 2 clubs that will make it out of this group will be Young Africans and TP Mazembe. MC Alger might shock us, but Younger FC, I think they've paid their school fees with Gamondi. They've accumulated some experience, at least to make it to the semi-finals this year. Last year they bowed out with the controversial goal being denied at Loftus against Mamelodi Sundowns. So I think this year, if they make it out of this group, they have a good chance of actually going all the way to the semi-finals. And this is not even me downplaying a great coach in Florence Ibenge of Al Hilal. one of the most celebrated coaches in the African space, who is leading Al Hilal of Sudan. I'm not downplaying his experience, but this group, I mean, anyone can make it. I'm just giving my opinion in that TP Mazembe, because of their CAF Champions League pedigree, they'll probably make it. And the young Africans, considering what has been happening in the past few years, having played at the CAF Confederations Cup final, participating in CAF Champions League, beating big boys, and Al Hilal, they are playing CAF Champions League season in and season out. You can't count them out because of the budget, because of their form in the league. MC Alger, you also can't count them out. And then Group B, Mamelodi Sundowns and Raja Casablanca should make it to the quarterfinals. There's no negotiations on this one. I expect Raja and Mamelodi Sundowns to make it. No, I'm not going to even dwell much on that one. Group C, I expect anyone who disrespect Al Ahly, then they don't follow African football. Al Ahly should easily make it to the group stages. And as a South African, I'm hoping that Orlando Pirates makes it to the quarterfinals. So Al Ahly, Orlando Pirates, and this is no disrespect to CR Belouizdad, who in the past years have also been participating a lot in CAF Champions League. And the last group, Group D, again, Esperance, Pyramid, FC. No negotiations. It is clear as daylight. And I'm not disrespecting the Malian team or even Sagrada Esperanza of Angola. Now, who are my favorites to win CAF Champions League? And this is my order. This is the right order. Number one, Al Ahly. They have done extremely well in recruitment. The player they released a player a lot of people would have thought they would never release. A DN has been loaned out to a Saudi team, sold their top defender to is Lens in Ligue 1 France. So they've done well in selling, but they've also brought in some top players, young players. Your Malul, the left back, who's been playing for them for some years, will probably, he's at the twilight of his career now and won't be having so much minutes as before. They brought in I think Atiat from he's coming from loan, Tunisian, Saudi Arabian league as well. So Atiat is a Moroccan left back, quality as well. I think you've seen him playing for Morocco. And then you have Ashraf Dari, the young defender brought in from I think Belgian league or Ligue 1, but I know he was bought for some good money. So they've brought in some quality to strengthen Al Ahly that is already strong. These guys have won 4 titles in the past season. Yes, they just lost against Zamalek, but that is nothing. And but you actually tell how serious these guys are with CAF Champions League and football. So Al Ahly by far the favorites yet again. I will not disrespect the club of the century in any way. Second on this list will be Esperance. Esperance, they lost to Al Ahly in the CAF Champions League finals last season, and they will go again. They still have their Sasa, Yen Sasa, they are Brazilians, and Rodriguez is there. They signed a South African in Elias Mukwane. They brought in their old Algerian legend in Youssef, forgetting now his last name, Youssef, the number 10, who actually helped MC Alger win the Algerian league after 14 years or so in Algeria. They brought him back. He's over 30 years or so, but he's a playmaker. He can play on wings. He can play anywhere in the forward line. So why not play for Esperance? And Esperance will also be going to the Club World Cup. And so Esperance is strong. They've really strengthened. Maybe they need to tweak things here and there. My favorite player in the team is a Tugai. The next episode here, I'll give my 7 top CAF Champions League players you should watch out for in this edition. So Esperance, number 2, after Ahly as favorites. Number 3, Mamelodi Sundowns. Yes, Mamelodi Sundowns lost a top tactician, master tactician in Rulani Mukwena, but under the leadership of Mangoba Mngiti, Mamelodi Sundowns have a new approach, a different approach, an approach that will probably, a model of football that will probably is best suited for CAF Champions League. More direct, no delay in or trying to accumulate more passes. They've got the right players for the model of Mangoba Mngiti in approaching CAF Champions League. Can they win it? Yes, they can win it, but it will be difficult. That is why they are third on my list as favorites. It's Ahly, Esperance, then Mamelodi Sundowns. Purely because they've already paid their school fees over the years in CAF Champions League. Because to get to this club, I mean, this CAF Champions League pedigree, it's paying school fees, learning, all these dark arts of African football, tweaking things here and there on your approach, the profiles of players that you have. We've got different type of players. We've got a big player in Sales, number 9. We've got a Reyners who's quick, who can read the offside line. If opposition is playing a high line, they can run up behind defenders. We've got young players who are also pacey, and that will be to your advantage. How Mamelodi Sundowns lost against Esperance was because of direct play by Esperance. We lost the ball in our half, a direct pass to the Brazilian, one chance, one goal in all Loftus, and that's how Mamelodi Sundowns were kicked out in the semi-finals. We lost the two-legged affair 2-0. So yeah, and then the fourth one on my list, which might shock some people, is young Africans. I love young Africans. I love how they play. I love their coach. I love their players. The Prince of Zimbabwe, Prince Dube, Pacome Zuzu of Ivory Coast, Aziz Ki, their starmen. I mean, they were proper defenders. Yaho, Ibrahim. They've got a good goalkeeper in Diarra. So they've got underrated number 9 in Kennedy. So I think they've also paid their school fees over the years. That's why they are fourth favorite. They are fourth on my list of favorites to win CAF Champions League. Can they do it? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to take this thing out of the hands of Ahly, who have dominated this thing for years. So if you're seeing this space and this content for the very first time, who are your favorites? What did you make of the draw? And who will be your last 8? Do you agree, disagree? You don't have to agree with me, but that is why there are such platforms, so that we engage on the comments below. And I will be covering from match day 1 to match day 6 of obviously I can't watch all the games, that is impossible, but the game I'll be watching, I'll cover it, and then we'll go over the results of the other matches. So match day 1 to match day 6. I think the first match is either the last weekend of November or the first week of December. CAF Champions League is back, baby, and yeah, let's see. Do not forget to like this video and share it with your friends. I'll end it there by declaring, may my God bless you all.